What's up, NBA fans? What's up, all sports fans? This your boy JB, host of the Behind the Bench podcast network and channel, giving a shout out to the rest of the crew. That's right, that's right. Everyone who's tuning in, thank you for supporting Behind the Bench. Subscribe to the channel, help make the show the best that it can be. And this really burns me up right here, man. It's the same old jibber jab every year. You know, it's never going to be enough. It wasn't enough when it started. Even after they so-called won, it wasn't enough. And from that point on, it's been the same old talk, man. Same old criticisms, same old tired rhetoric. You know, oh man, they didn't put together the right roster construction. I've heard that word construction, roster construction so much, it feels like I'm at a work site, man. It feels like I'm at a job site with a hard hat on and with cranes out there, man, and drills and you know, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm in a construction zone, where the streets are blocked. That's what this feels like, man. Every freaking year, every day, either the source directly or he's going to send one of his people to cast aspersions on this front office of this organization. So I'm gonna read this real quick, man. Rich Paul hints that the Lakers don't have the same foundation culture the Heat have. LeBron was always a pro regardless of what Miami was. Sometimes that gets misconstrued. But going back to mindset, Pat Riley's mindset, Pat had a championship mindset. So the foundation was, it don't matter if you're upset. We're doing things this way. If there was room to grow for the Lakers, it would be in that department. And I'm telling you, dog, and this is why I get upset. Because an outsider is going to try to tell me as a fan that the front office is been dysfunctional. No. And I keep saying, this is why I keep emphasizing this point. And like I said, man, I've been doing videos on other teams. OKC, what they doing, man, it could go down in history books. The Orlando Magic, they coming on strong now after a slow start with, after bringing in Desmond Bain, they rolling. The Knicks are doing good. Detroit Pistons, what can you say? They putting the league on notice, shocking the world. San Antonio Spurs are back. Toronto Raptors have improved from last year. They only won 30 games last year. They moving in the right direction. There's a lot of teams out there. The Phoenix Suns are off to a strong start after regaining control of their franchise back after falling for the okie doke for the past 2.5 seasons. So I love what teams are doing when they build the right way, man. I love it, man. I get a rush. I get a rush. But this the thing, man. Don't tell me about dysfunction, because the 2 years before they brought the Hurricanes to this franchise, I didn't hear one negative comment about the front office. Not one. From the talking heads, they was all saying everything Lakers was doing was spot on, clearing the cap space. Okay, we know about who drafting the deepest young talent in basketball, approaching things the right way. Whatever was going on behind the scenes, they was addressing it, correcting it, moving forward. Everybody was on the same page. There was nothing negative being said. The moment you brought this dude Adam to the equation, man, mom and pop. I didn't heard that a billion times. The roster construction, the front office is dysfunctional. I'm sick and tired of it, man. And they said the same thing about the Cleveland front office. When David Griffin was the GM up there, they said the exact same thing. They crapped on the owner up there too, because he wasn't getting it done. And they want to put blame on everybody. During the first stint, they was throwing Danny Ferry, the GM at that time. They throwing him under the bus. Mike Brown had to take a hit. He got fired twice by that franchise. He got fired twice. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. And what he fails to mention, Rich Paul, is that where did he think Pat Riley got that championship mindset from? He didn't get it from Miami. He got it from the Lakers. He was on that 72-win team that won the championship at the time with the most wins in regular season wins in NBA history, 69 wins. To this day, they still hold the record for most consecutive wins in a season by any professional sports team in North American history. 33 straight wins. Then he was a play-by-play man, and then he was promoted to be assistant coach under at the time Paul Westhead, who led them to the title in 1980. Then he was promoted to be head coach during the 1981-82 season and helped lead Showtime Lakers to 4 titles and 9 seasons as head coach. The Armani suits, you see what I'm saying? He took that mentality to New York City, coached the Knicks to the finals in 04, which they should have won. Okay, he was there for 4 years. They was averaging like about 55, 56 wins a year. Then he takes that mentality to the Miami Heat as head coach, led them to the conference finals. But you know, at the time, man, Michael Jordan was there. Wasn't nobody finna beat Mike in 4 out of 7. Okay, then he becomes the executive down there. And then during the 2006 season, he replaced Stan Van Gundy as coach, stepped down from his post, helped lead them to the championship. Right? But they struggled after that. For a number of years, for whatever reason, man. And then they brought forth the super team era. And see, I think where he's getting is skewed is the reason why things seems dysfunctional is because the formula of stacking the deck is dysfunctional. A real team build is not. When you see OKC, there's nothing dysfunctional going on down there. Nothing. Zero. And they doing it in a small market where they know that for the most part, free agents ain't going to want to sign down there, but they don't even need to rely on that. They don't need to rely on manipulation. They don't need to rely on free agency. They got it lock, stock, and barrel. And the reason why they got it, they acquired all them draft picks. They draft picks. That is their leverage card. That is their bargaining chip. And they drafted young talent out the Yazoo. What they figured, understood, what teams have had to rely on over the past 15 years because of the super team era, OKC is chilling, dog. They stand above all of that. You know what I'm saying? And other teams are kind of following suit and generate the same type of success. So my point is this, man. I'm just tired as a fan of this team for the organization to continue to get lambasted. And they've done everything. What they've done for him is more than what the Miami Heat did for that dude. And then what Cleveland did for that dude doing both stints combined times 10. But see, the thing about it is, man, a lot of these cats, man, they represent this point of view. They don't understand what professional basketball is, man. This ain't some circus or no sideshow. This ain't video game. This ain't 2K. This ain't NBA Live. This is pro ball. And the way they want the Lakers to operate is if it's 2K. Same thing what they wanted Cleveland to do. You may generate 1 year out the deal, man. That's it. But you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle in between all the nonsense. But like I said, man, how he going to say how the Lakers need to grow? When before all this madness started, they was doing just that. So this was on the podcast he doing with Max Kellerman, who was a co-host of, ESPN or whatnot, And I'm just, the Heat culture really, when you really think about it, when it got going, Pat Riley, it's a reflection of the mindset he developed coaching the Lakers. That's essentially what Heat culture is. Now, don't get me wrong. They got a tremendous coach down there, Eric Spoelstra, man. He could be the best in the business right now. Overall, at least over the past 10 years, he's been a tremendous coach, man. But at the end of the day, man, nobody was really talking about quote unquote Heat culture until they formed that super team down there, dog. At the end of the day. So I just want to throw this out here real quick, man. As long as he's on the team, man, their front office is going to be. It got to be frustrating, man. You sit here every day You've done everything. Considering what you traded off. The draft pick, the players, everything, man. The constant overhauls, everything. And even when you got a supposed good record, man, people still ain't really feeling confident. Man, I don't think, Rich Paul said, I don't think the Lakers are contenders. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like they want them to have an all-star or superstar at every single position. That's essentially that's the impression I'm getting, man. They don't want no attrition, no real competition. And I'm telling you, man, dog. Woo, man, oh man. Boy, when they let that door open in summer 2018, boy, they should have put they should have barricaded them doors, dog. I'm being dead serious, dog. They should have put a barricade up. Oh man. And like I said, man, a superstar of this caliber, man, he should have now, okay, like I said, every superstar not play their whole career for the team that drafted. Okay, no big deal. But when he left Miami and returned back to Cleveland, he said, I'm coming home. I don't plan on leaving again. He should have stayed, man. He should have stayed. Bottom line, if you really look at it, and I'm gonna shut this down. All this talk about him leading or being the catalyst for turning the franchise around, he hasn't won a league MVP since 2013. That means, man, he was in his 20s. He hasn't won one league MVP in his 30s. Jordan won a league MVP. Karl Malone won a league MVP in his 30s. Jordan was 35 when he won his last MVP. And that was his last full season with the Bulls and won a title. Magic won a league MVP at 30. Man, let me get out of here, man. God, take it, pause this shit right here, man. I tell you, every single day. No, a real championship mindset is based on building, not putting together. That's the flaw. That's the flaw. This is why I say, if they get out the way, man, and let the NBA breathe, man, we all could move forward. Because no matter what they try to do, no matter how they try to capitulate or posture or try to rewrite or distort history, their number one client is not the greatest player of all time. And once everybody comes to that realization and be true, like I said, you do not have to be the greatest player ever to be respected, admired, remembered for, or to be seen as someone who made a positive contribution to the sport that can resonate in a beneficial way for years to come. Once everybody realizes this, man, and breathe a sigh of relief, the league can move forward and I can get my team back. And everybody will be happy. I wanted to drop that golden nugget. Please leave your comments and thoughts. Until next time, this is JB for BTB, Behind the Bench.